It would be super nice. But, you know, there had to be, for the people that you interviewed, you know, there had to be some awareness to what they were feeling and what was going on. What was like for them?
So yes and no. You know, when you have a breaking moment in your life, could be a divorce, could be whatever. You're not thinking about, oh my God, this is an opportunity. You're thinking about, oh my God, I just got kicked in the teeth. And, you know, you're going, a lot of people, it's self-pity at that point.
Okay. So,
and it's only through that process of sorting stuff out do you begin to maybe be able to look back and go, God, I wish that didn't happen, but. And I think it's that but that's very important. And that's part of the message that I'm also kind of giving about parenting, because somebody sent me this wonderful little 2-minute video about a butterfly and a young man walking and discovering a cocoon and deciding to sit down and watch the butterfly emerge, which doesn't happen real quickly. And the butterfly's halfway out and seems to be stuck. So the young man cuts off the cocoon and holds the butterfly and waits for it to fly. Well, that last period is when the butterfly releases what needs to be released in order for the wings to work. And it touched me, because it was in 2 minutes, it sort of captured the whole thing and the whole transition to becoming, to rising and being able to have some, to fly.
So walk me through, so that I'm trying to make the connection between the breaking moments and the quest for legitimacy. So take a step back for me for a second, and I apologize, but I'm like, so I'm, you know, I'm somebody that you've interviewed. I'm feeling that I'm looking for this quest for legitimacy. What, I guess, where am I? What's happening? What's through the interviews that you did? What's the theme before the breaking moment and after the breaking moment? So I guess, am I missing that?
So let's do before.
Yep.
I'm gonna do it very quickly.
You know, yeah, we're fine.
Right? Before all of us, you know, you kind of have these moments. And Henry Kaiser was a good example. Henry Kaiser, got sent to a private school. And early on, there was this message that he'd better prepare, because someday in his life, something important was going to happen. And got sent off to boarding school. I don't think he really wanted to go to boarding school. And that was kind of the beginning. And the beauty of what happened was, along the way, I picked up a research team from the University of Adelaide. I met the researcher in an elevator, and we got off the elevator. He said, God, that's great. We should do some journal articles together. And so it was one of those magic moments for me, where all of a sudden we had a practitioner research team. And what we discovered is, whether it was Indonesia, Chicago, or Costa Rica, that there was a pattern. It wasn't linear, so it wasn't like you did step 1 and then you did step 2, but it started with awareness. And I don't know for you if you remember the early moments of awareness of growing up in a prominent family, but even the story of being the sanctuary and having that little boy say, "Is this God?" to his mother, sort of that one of those moments where I went, there's something a little bit different about who my dad is and the world I was born into. It moves from awareness into what I call the tug of war. because you grow up in a culture in your family and you're aware of it. And a lot of the families you and I work with have family governance. They have all kinds of things going on. They may not be aware that somebody's already, doing estate plans for them and figuring out what's going to happen to them later in their lives.
Right.
But as you go out into the world, you begin to discover other things than what you were brought up in. And at first you come home and parents go, God, that's so great. Where did she learn this? A little bit later, you come home and they go, oh my God, where did he and she learn this? And it's a tug of war between being in two worlds. It moves on, and with COVID, I hope it's still the same. But the next period is a period of exploration. One of the people I interviewed, his father's business failed during her adolescence. And she managed to convince her parents to find a way to have her, who has a Mexican background, to go explore other cultures, travel, learn, gain insights. And she never lost that connection to the culture she was brought up in, but she also became rich by what she experienced and used that period to sort out the world she brought up in and what she was learning to form who she was. Because the last period is taking ownership of your life. And the word that is more of a psychological word, but having agency, feeling like you have some control over the decisions you're making.
Okay.